Welcome to a new edition of High Five. I, as always, am your host, the one, the only, the second Irish Bandit. This week we are starting the roll to Saskatoon Expo. I just picked up my pass. And today I'm going to talk about 5 celebrities that I would love to see at Saskatoon Expo. So far this year we're getting a great lineup of stars. Ernie Hudson, who was in the first 2 original Ghostbusters movies and The Crow. Lou Ferrigno, the original Incredible Hulk. John Rhys Davies, who was in Sliders, who was in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, had a voice on the great show Gargoyles. He's going to be there. He's one I'm most excited to meet because, he's been acting for so long. He was Sala in Raiders of the Lost Ark and Indiana Jones and Temple. No, he wasn't in Temple of Doom. He was in The Last Crusade. But he's one I'm definitely looking forward to meeting. Also looking forward to meeting Ernie Hudson. The creator of Darkwing Duck, Tad Stones, is going to be there as well, so that's going to be interesting. But here are 5 celebrities that I would love to meet. Now we're going to start off with the one that I think is going to be least likely, because you got to remember, the man's in his 90s now and he just retired from doing the convention circuit. But if they said he was here, I would be getting my ticket that very day. And that man being the one, the only, the legendary Stan the Man Lee. Automatically think of Stan Lee. He was instrumental in the creation of so many of their big name superheroes, like the Fantastic Four, like Spider-Man, Captain America, the X-Men. He had a hand in creating them, basically creating them all, with a couple of exceptions here or there, like the Punisher, but still, with Stan Lee at the helm of Marvel Entertainment, he paved the way for the new mythology of comic books, and he's just a legend in the industry. He's so recognizable, He's had cameos in a lot of different Marvel movies, like Spider-Man, like Iron Man. He had a few great cameos in that, in all of the MCU movies. And it was funny because this just came across my on this day on Facebook the other day when I was looking at this, and I was like, when you think of the man's age, like he's in his 90s, you're going to be sitting in a movie theater one day watching a Marvel movie, and there's not going to be a Stan Lee cameo anymore. You're going to see In Memory of Stan Lee come across the screen, and you're going to cry. I'm choking up just thinking about it. The man's still alive, but given recent events with the unfortunate passing of his wife just last month, I hate to think about it's coming sooner than later, but the man has retired from the convention scene because of his age. But if they said, one last time, Stan Lee in Canada, Saskatoon Expo, you know I would be there. And he's just one that I would love to meet. Now these next 4 are more likely than Stan Lee. And this man has been the face of B movies for many, many years, since 1982, I think it was. He starred in the cult classic horror film, one of my favorites, The Evil Dead. I almost said The Walking Dead, but that's coming later. The Evil Dead. He's the man, the myth, the chin, Bruce Campbell. When I first saw the original Evil Dead, I was like, whoa, totally blown away by this movie. Then I saw the sequel. Well, actually, okay, the first movie that I saw with Bruce Campbell was Army of Darkness, back many, many years ago. So I hadn't seen the first 2 Evil Dead movies before that. But I saw Evil Dead, then I saw Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, of course, and Bruce Campbell has just this cheesy, awesome quality to him. Like, when you first see the Evil Dead, the character of Ash is just this wimp. It's only through the progression of the movies that he turns into the badass that he is. Groovy. Hail to the king, baby. I guess he's got the chainsaw in his right hand in Army of Darkness. But Bruce Campbell made a great career for himself out of that. He had guest starring roles in shows like Hercules, The Legendary Journey, and Xena, Warrior Princess. He starred in the short-lived series Jack of All Trades. He had a great starring role in Burn Notice. And now he's back doing Ash versus the Evil Dead on Stars, which I still haven't seen yet. I gotta get around to that. He is absolutely amazing, and I didn't read his book, Making Love the Bruce Campbell Way. I listened to the audiobook read by Bruce Campbell, and it was just, oh my god, that book is hilarious. You should really read it if you haven't, or get the audiobook read by Bruce Campbell. It's incredible, and it's funny, and Bruce Campbell is a really funny guy, and he's such a legend, and he is another guy that I would really, really love to meet if they bring him to Saskatoon Expo. Another guy I would love to meet, he has been in quite a few movies that I have really enjoyed, including one of my favorite movies of all time, The Boondock Saints. You can now catch him as the badass zombie-killing redneck Daryl Dixon in The Walking Dead, Norman Reedus. Now, unbeknownst to me, I've been watching Norman Reedus for a while, even before The Boondock Saints. I didn't even know he was in movies like 8mm and Blade 2 when I first saw Boondock Saints. So it came to a real shock to me watching them again and looking through his IMDb page. It was like, oh crap, he was in Blade 2. Oh crap, he was in 8mm. I didn't even... Because I've only seen 8mm like once. It was an okay movie, like not anything special, but better than Snake Eyes. But if we're talking about Nick Cage movies. But I remember Blade 2, and that was a really cool movie. You had Norman Reedus, who would go on to be in The Walking Dead, and you had Ron Perlman, who would go on to be in Sons of Anarchy, two of my favorite shows of all time. But he also had the Boondock Saints in there as well. So I'm a huge fan of the Boondock Saints. I don't really like the news that's been coming out lately, but we'll save that for a discussion for another day. But Norman Reedus just seems like this really chill, cool guy you just want to hang out with. And he comes across that way, like, with everything that I've seen him in behind the scenes, Him pranking Andrew Lincoln a lot on the set of The Walking Dead and just being this really cool guy. I think it'd be really fun to meet him, and I can just, talk to him and say, I've been watching you for a long time. Love Boondock Saints. Love you in Walking Dead. I think Daryl Dixon is just one of the best characters there is. So I think Norman Reedus would be awesome to get for Saskatoon Expo. And I think for something like that, it would bring the attendance up a lot. Because there are a lot of Walking Dead fans out there. Fourth person that I would love to see at Saskatoon Expo. He's been in a string of great shows. He was in he starred in Firefly. He had a guest role on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He just came off of a great run as the lead in the ABC series Castle. He's a Canadian boy, and we share one thing in common. I'll get into that in a little bit. And that's Nathan Fillion. The first time I noticed Nathan Fillion was on his guest starring role in the last season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I did not watch Firefly previous to that, which is bad me. I should have. But that's when I really noticed Nathan Fillion. Then he had a short-lived series on Fox called Drive, which was actually really good, but it didn't last too long. Something about Nathan Fillion and Fox Networks, I don't know. So then he had Castle, which was a great success on ABC Networks. Then I started watching Firefly, and oh my god, that was such a great show. Why did it last 14 episodes? Because of Fox's ineptitude. But Nathan Fillion just seems like a really great guy with everything I've seen in tweets and on Facebook. Seems like a great guy. He's a Canadian boy, too. He was born and raised in Edmonton, Alberta, much like me. That's not the thing we have in common, though. I found out, reading tweets, Nathan Fillion hates being slapped on the back. So if you ever meet him, don't slap him on the back. I hate being slapped on the back, so if you meet me, don't slap me on the back. So that'd be one thing that I just say to him, big fan of yours, absolutely love Firefly. I thought you were absolutely awesomely creepy in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Thanks. And we also share something in common. Oh yeah, what's that? Much like you, I hate it when somebody slaps me on the back. Oh, no, you just hate that? Oh, yeah, definitely. So that's why I said to myself, when I meet you, I'm never going to slap you on the back. I'm just going to shake your hand and say, nice to meet you, dude. So yeah, Nathan Fillion, another guy I would love to meet if they brought him to Saskatoon Expo. finally, this guy is one that I have looked up to for quite a long time, since my teenage years. I make no bones about it. I'm a huge fan of the Power Rangers franchise. They got Steve Cardenas a couple years ago for Saskatoon Expo. Wish I would have walked up to him and met him, but I didn't. I took his picture, but I would absolutely love it if they brought in the legendary Green Ranger, Jason David Frank, to Saskatoon Expo. So when Power Rangers first started, I gotta admit, Jason was my favorite character because he was the Red Ranger, and red's my favorite color, along with black, which, would make you think that Zach was also one of my favorite characters. Well, yeah, when you only have 5 heroes, it's easy to, this, and this. But Jason was my favorite character because he was the Red Ranger. And then, I don't know what happened, because then Tommy came along, and it was like, oh my god, he's so cool. And everybody was all like, oh, Tommy. Even I was, he was cool. Then he became the White Ranger, and then he became the Red Ranger, which, full circle there, Tommy's the Red Ranger now, so, red's my favorite color, so hey, why not? But everything that I've seen with Jason David Frank is he does all these conventions every year for the fans of Power Rangers and for the fans of his. The man is really knowledgeable in martial arts. He's an MMA fighter, too, and he's got an undefeated record. He lobbied really hard to try and get a match with CM Punk. Don't know how well that would have turned out, but, with what happened in his UFC debut. But Jason David Frank seems like one of the coolest guys, and he does everything for his fans. So it wouldn't shock me at all to see him come to Saskatoon Expo. And hey, Saskatoon Expo colors are green. So that could be fate, that Jason David Frank comes to Saskatoon Expo, Green Ranger and all that. And I'd love to see the Green Ranger helmet. He has a complete set of Ranger helmets, Green Ranger, White Ranger, Red Zeo Ranger, Red Turbo Ranger, Dino Thunder, Black Dino Thunder Ranger helmet. So that'd be really cool, just see his table and see all those helmets lined up and be like, oh wow, and an impressive collection of morphers too. So yeah, Jason David Frank is another guy that I would absolutely love to meet. Out of those 5, like I said, Stanley is probably the least likely, but the other 4 definitely, because I know Bruce Campbell is going to be at Fan Expo in Toronto very, very soon. So it would be within the realm of possibility to have him come to Saskatoon Expo. So there you go. That is my list of 5 celebrities I would love to see at Saskatoon Expo, be it next year or in the coming years. It would be so fantastic to see these guys. Alright, well, that is it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give me a big old thumbs up. Have you met any of those celebrities, or who would you like to meet? Let me know in the comments section down below. Don't forget to share this video anywhere you can. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. We're growing in channel size, and that is awesome. And if you're already subscribed, don't forget to tap that bell. You'll be notified whenever I upload anything new. Just to let you know, big announcement coming tomorrow. You'll find out what that is. Irish Bandit Revolution returns this Tuesday with part 1 of my 2-part Saw retrospective. And then in 2 weeks, I will be back with a new edition of High Five. I'm going to be starting something new with High Five. I'm going to be talking about 5 different types of movies you should watch before you die. So in 2 weeks, we're going to be talking about 5 Mel Brooks movies you should watch before you die. I'm the Bandit, and I will see you again for another High Five.